I remember just thinking, like, I just wish God would kill me because I would rather die and be in peace than live this chaotic turmoil in my own mind. I felt like they were right. I felt like I was a hopeless case.
Thank you, Melia, so much for coming today. You are an inspiration to so many people. I'm really excited that you're here.
Thank you.
Share your story kind of from the beginning. Start with the hard stuff.
It was heaven and hell in a sense. I knew that it felt so good to do it, but I knew the hell I was going to pay for it. My life was a disaster. I was in and out of jail. I was in and out of mental institutions. I was in and out of rehabs constantly. I was just a hellfire storm everywhere I went.
You told me at one point when we were having discussions that people had really written you off and called you hopeless.
Yeah, everyone had written me off. You know, even I think after 12 long years, I think my own mother had gave up hope. And everyone, you know, was like, she's a hopeless case. She's never going to change. And there is no rock bottom for Melia Welch. You know, I felt like they were right. I felt like I was a hopeless case. And I remember thinking to myself, this must be the life that I was meant to live. I must have meant to live a life of a heroin addict because since I was 18, this is 12 years later, since I was 18 years old, this is all I've ever known. And I can't even imagine a different life.
Let's talk about the journey out. You were in prison how many times?
Twice.
You were in prison 2 times.
Yeah.
How long?
The first one was 9 months, and then the second one was 2 years.
Tell me what that's like.
You know, it's a horrible experience. I remember when I first got to intake, and the CO opened the door, and he said, what's your number, inmate? And I said, my name's Melia Welch. And he said, I don't give a shit about your name. What's your DOC number? You're just a number here now. And then that cold metal door slamming in my face. And, you know, it still brings tears to my eyes today because I was just like, this is where my life has led me.
What were the feelings that were going through your body when physically and mentally, you know, nobody cared? Nobody was in your corner while you were in those moments. What does that feel like?
It was so hard and it was so dark, and I never thought I would get through those days. I never thought I would see the light. I remember just thinking, like, I just wish God would kill me because I would rather die and be in peace than live this chaotic turmoil in my own mind.
So let's fast forward. Share with me that middle piece. So, you know, there's a lot, obviously, of self-doubt, and now you own your life today, right?
Absolutely,
but there was
yeah.
obviously lots of up and downs, that golden thread that's in the middle. Tell me about what happened during those years.
So it finally got to a point in my addiction where all my friends were dying. I had a record a mile long. I couldn't get a job. I didn't have my daughter. They'd taken her away from me. And there's a saying that I heard once, that once you've been beaten down so hard that you have no other choice but to either recover and die. And I was like, I'm ready to recover. I'm ready to really take this serious.
What helped you with that?
So I got on a shot called Vivitrol. And
do you feel like that was what really saved you?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. One of the last ones I went to said, hey, you know, we got this shot. It's kind of new on the market. It's called Vivitrol, and it's an opiate blocker. You won't be able to use drugs for at least 28 days. I started laughing when they first told me. I was like, I don't know, you know, I don't know if that's really such a good idea, but I'm going to give it a chance because I don't know what the hell else to do. So I'm going to give this miracle drug a shot. And so I went to a rehab here in St. Louis, and I got on that Vivitrol shot. And I remember the first 30 days after I got out, I thought, holy shit, I'm sober. I can work, and I'm not overwhelmed with feelings of wanting to use. Wow, this really is a miracle from God. And so I started going to the NA and AA programs. I started going to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Therapy helped me so much. And
Awesome.
It helped me so much. I got into the union with wonderful people, wonderful women that held me up and told me I'm strong and I can do anything that I want to. I'm so grateful for those days. I'm so grateful for the Carpenters Union. Those ladies were so good to me, and they built me up when I felt like nothing. And they gave me strength, and I had wonderful women along the way and people that believed in me and said, you know what, Melia, you're amazing. You're an amazing human being, and you have it all right in your hands.
We've talked a lot about your daughter and how hard that was when she was taken away, and the joy that it gave you when she was able to come back into your life. So just share with me some of the stories and the opportunities with that.
Okay, so once I had a year underneath my belt, they'd always told me at custody court, they said, if you can show us you can stay sober a year, you can have your daughter back. And then in my mind, I was like, well, I'll just stay sober 9 months and we'll just go from there, because a year was so daunting, far out of my mind. And so I did. I got that year underneath my belt.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going back to court. I'm getting my daughter. And my mom had always told me that if I got sober a year, that she would give Graceland back. But in fact, she didn't. So it turned into a nasty court battle. And the judge was such a good man. He believed in me, and he gave me a chance. And he said, Miss Welch, he said, I've thought about this all night. He said, I've thought about it all week. He said, I knew you'd be in court for your daughter. There wasn't a doubt in my mind that you wouldn't be here. And he said, this is a very hard decision for me. My daughter had been with my mom for 8 years. So it was a lot. A lot was riding on me being a good mother. He told me, he said, I'm going to give your daughter back to you. And I started crying, and I said, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. He's like, I'm going to take a chance on you because I believe in you. And he gave me back my daughter that day, and I stepped out of that courtroom, and tears streamed down my face, and I was just like, oh my God, life is finally coming together. Because Graceland was the missing piece in my life. All those years that I missed, and all those years I was in my addiction, all I ever thought about was how much I just wanted to be a mom. I didn't care if I was successful. I didn't care what I did with my life. I just wanted to be a mother to my daughter, and my addiction kept me from that.
Wow. So you get her back.
Yeah.
And now, as we were joking this morning, kids, dogs getting here, but it's so, it makes life, right? And it's so impactful to be able to have that baby right by your side.
Kids have this amazing ability to make you feel like you're the most awesome superhero ever.
One of the things that has drawn me so much to you is that although life was very, very tragic at one point, your success now is kind of from one extreme to the other. And so I want you to talk a little bit about how do you go, and we talked about this, from, in theory, being not in good space to amazing space and highly successful.
So when I first got sober, like I said, I got into the union, and it was a man-dominated field. It was hard work. It was brutal work. We was out in the weather, but they drove home to me a strong work ethic, to work hard every day, put in a good day's work. And so after being in the union for a few years, I thought, you know what? I bet I could do pretty good at painting. I'm a pretty good painter. I'm going to get out of the union, and I'm just going to try this painting thing. And if I fail, well, I failed 12 years at life. So failing and going back to the union wouldn't be such a bad thing. And so I started really doing a lot of advertising and building my company up. I really wanted to succeed. And the same drive that got me sober was the same drive I used for my business.
So you are certainly a woman of accomplishment today. You have built a major company. You have your family back intact. You are giving in the community. You are about to build some halfway houses to help other women. tell me, what are 3 great pieces of advice that you could give that addict to help them down that journey? What would they be?
Sure. First and foremost would be reach out for help.
Reach out for help. You know what? Whether you're an addict or you are an everyday person, that's so hard for people. So reach out for help.
It took a lot. It is not easy for people with opiate addictions to get help. I didn't have insurance. I was a heroin junkie, and so, don't quit trying. Get help. Reach out for help.
Okay.
You can't do this alone.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Don't give up, because as soon as you do, you're going to be in that graveyard. This opiate epidemic it's taking out generations. It takes out doctors' kids, corporate CEOs' kids, takes out the guy next door's kid. It's serious. This is your life.
Don't give up. So reach out for help. Don't give up.
And give back. Give back when you can.
Oh, that gives me chills.
We would do Habitat for Humanity builds. I would talk about my addiction in meetings. So now, I own this painting company, and we paint these big, expensive, fancy homes. And I'll occasionally go back and I'll paint like food pantries and such, and really give them a new look. Where I'm from, there was a food pantry, and it was in rough shape. And strangely enough, the gentleman that started me on heroin, it was his sister that owned that food pantry.
Really?
That guy that got me started on heroin died right in front of my eyes in the emergency room. A year after I'd started on heroin, he died in front of my eyes. I'd worked at the hospital that he died at. They came in on a code blue. And then my aunt said, hey, there's this food pantry that really, really needs updated. I know you're super busy, but would you mind taking a look at it? You don't have to paint it. I'm just, what's your recommendations on it? I said, absolutely, I'm going to paint it. And I'm going to get Sherwin-Williams to donate the paint so I can paint it with good paint. And so I did. And they were so grateful. And I came in one day, and the clients were there, and they were just so thankful. They said, this place looks so nice. Thank you so much. And I just
love it.
I love it. I would rather spend every single day of my life giving back than doing anything else. I am so blessed that I made it out of something that so many people don't. And I'm so proud of that. And if I can do anything ever to help anyone with their addiction or life or anything, to tell them, you get the hell up and you try again, because you can do it. Man, you can do it. I'm living proof.
That's awesome. So reach out for help, don't give up, and give back as soon as you can.
Yep.
Those are some great words to live by for everybody. So thank you so much for coming and joining us today.